defend his way out of it. King, nice, went for a single leg. Bockwinkel was faked out. He waist locked him, but he takes Lawler over. Was going into a wrist lock. Head scissors and out of it, back to the feet again. Very quick action from these large men. Bockwinkel's coming in at about 245. Lawler at 234. Beverly Hills, California. Standing side head around behind with the leg, pitches him forward and really goes to bend it up in that hammer position. Nick Bockwinkel hanging on tight to the King's arm. And Lawler hooks the head of Bockwinkel. And using Bockwinkel, he pulled himself up off the canvas. Nick still hanging on to the hammerlock. He uses the swinging broad arm, and it's legal. Referee looking right at it. Double Lawler up, got out of the side headlock, and he once again straddles Lawler with that hammer hooked in very firmly. Ooh, what a wrist lock. Goes top with it. Sometimes you can paralyze a man's arm to the point that he's not exactly sure when you are wheeling it around like that. Lawler was unable to make a move. Bockwinkel did it very slick. Now he's got the top wrist lock on him and hooks him. Boy. He's trying to weaken Lawler. Bockwinkel really putting Lawler down, and his lack of ability to use standard scientific wrestling. He has always made a fetish of putting Lawler down about that. And I'll tell you one thing, Bockwinkel will be the first guy to admit that Lawler can really flail with that right hand. Jerry can also wrestle, despite what Bockwinkel says. Bockwinkel may, in fact, be a superior scientific wrestler. He doesn't have any more stamina, no more determination than the King does. Lawler into a double wrist lock, powering Bockwinkel straight up. Gets the advantage and takes Lawler back down. Crowd really excited about Lawler powering out and a little disappointed. Bockwinkel won the title from Vern Gagne. Lost it to Gagne back and won it back again. Vern's had it, I don't know, I think it's about 7 years is my recollection. He lost it a very brief period of time. He lost it in Comiskey Park in Chicago when he wrestled a very large German, Baron von Raschke. But he later, I believe, back in Comiskey, won it back. It was either there or in Milwaukee. I'm not really certain exactly the location. In any event, he won it back, and he has held it against every kind of challenger. Bockwinkel hanging in with the arm of Jerry the King Lawler. 9 minutes, 20 seconds into the action. It's a one-fall, 60-minute bout. no bones about it. As a matter of fact, we had him on a championship wrestling program as a guest commentator. Finally, after 6 years, we got him to appear on the program, and he made no bones about it. He does what it takes to keep the title. Somebody stands between him and keeping that title, brother, you can expect it all to let loose. Bockwinkel will wrestle you, boy, and he'll wrestle your tights right off of you. You better have staying power when you're getting in there with the champion. And that's exactly what Lawler has. Determination, tremendous recuperative ability. Bockwinkel really giving that arm a fit. He's had that thing about 6 minutes, hasn't he, Randy? Something like that. We're 10.5 minutes in, and he first, in one form or another, slapped that wrist lock on. He had it behind him in a hammer position. Ultimately took it up top, and that's where he's had it for the last few minutes. Wow, trying to get Lawler stirred up. Jerry, again, trying to power his way out. He's up top, straight up and down. Bockwinkel reversing it. Lawler almost went down. And this time, Bockwinkel felt himself slipping, reached around behind and grabbed the hair, and the referee was not in a position to see it, but I think he gathers from the crowd exactly what happened. Jerry proved a point to him. He powered it up. Bockwinkel reversed it. He powered it up again, and I believe Bockwinkel felt that he was fading, and he reached up and grabbed the hair and pulled Lawler back down on the mat. But he is still hanging on to that wrist lock. 12 minutes into the action with 48 minutes to go. Well, I think the very large crowd gathered in the Mid-South Coliseum brought their lunch. They expected it. This was not going to be a quick victory or defeat for Jerry Lawler. Bockwinkel once again holds on. Look at Lawler, though. Takes him over the hip, but Bockwinkel again hanging in there with it. Lawler back on the feet and throws Bockwinkel a third time he's loose.
The battle action continues. We're going to have to take time out. We'll be back to join the action in just one moment.
But the leg is on the rope very easily. Jerry had him too close to the ropes. With a pounding right hand again. Bockwinkel is down. Referee backs Lawler up, gives him a little lecture. That will not stop the King from using that right. Referee asking Bockwinkel, you want to give it up? Nope. But if he can get the referee to ask that, it saves him a few extra seconds. He can rest and recuperate, and that's what Bockwinkel, KG champion, is doing. Moved in with a knee on Lawler. Third one puts Jerry down. 25 minutes into it. 35 minutes to wrestle. Jerry bounced off the top turnbuckle. his two knees, covers Lawler. Count of one. And Lawler gets out of it at the count of one. Solid right hand to the midsection of the King. Bockwinkel now covers him up again. One. And Jerry kicks off right at the 2 mark. Missing a big right hand. Lawler flying press. And Bockwinkel pitched him right out on the concrete. You look at Bockwinkel, you'll see that where that strength comes from. He has powerful shoulders, very big through these shoulders. Count of 5. Lawler up on his knees. Here comes Nick. And Bockwinkel bouncing the head of Lawler off the table. He hops back up in the ring. Bockwinkel not in any great shape himself, but Lawler right at the moment in worse shape. Bockwinkel slammed his head on the table. Here he comes again. This time on the ring apron. He's rolled back in the ring. Bockwinkel's trying to get him in and get a pin. Rolls him over. Count of 1, count of 2, and Lawler kicked out. That's where Bockwinkel will be screaming, local home cooking. He didn't count fast enough. Lawler blasted by the right hand of Nick Bockwinkel. King bounced on that top turnbuckle. The referee backing him up because Lawler is technically still on the ropes. And another shot. Lawler getting that second win. Plants a foot, then a right, another one. Series of right hands, and Lawler puts Bockwinkel on the deck. Falls down himself. He still doesn't completely have it all back. But let me tell you, he had enough to stop the champion. Bockwinkel's head off the top turnbuckle. With both hands, he slams the back of Bockwinkel's head into that turnbuckle. The King coming back hard on the champion. Whips him across the ring, slams him with a right. He falls back into the turnbuckle. Jerry Calhoun. Lawler hit his head so hard you could hear it rattle right through this Coliseum. He's on the concrete floor. Lawler coming up to the middle of the ring. Bockwinkel drops off with an elbow. There's a 30-minute call. We're halfway through the time factor. Calhoun back in the ring. Count of 1, count of 2, and Lawler throws Bockwinkel out. The King bounces the head of the champion right off that table. Again, Nick Bockwinkel slammed into the timer's table. Referee trying to back him up in a corner into the ring. Bockwinkel is glassy-eyed. And Lawler pounds him in there. That's the only place he's going to get a pin. Oh, Jerry, you need to go to the edge of the ring as Bockwinkel uses the rope. Oh, he's too smart. Lawler using all of his strength to throw that 245 back in the ring, and Bockwinkel too close to it. And Bockwinkel gouging at the eyes of Jerry Lawler. The referee warning him about that, but Lawler is hurt. Lawler's head on the top rope. He runs the eyes right down the ring. Bockwinkel hooks a right. Rights and left. Slam, Lawler said. He's picking the tempo up. The champion trying to make this a do or die. And here comes Lawler. Look at him go. Referee trying to pull Lawler out of there. Uh-oh. Lawler throws the referee down. Goes back to Bockwinkel. Again, Calhoun is down, and Lawler's on Bockwinkel. This time, Bockwinkel slams the referee. I don't know whether he was swinging at Lawler or not. The King falls on him. Lawler doing the counting himself. And the referee says, ring the bell. The winner, Jerry Lawler. The winner, Jerry Lawler. Bockwinkel still on the canvas. And the dream comes true. Lawler, the winner. He finally got Bockwinkel in one of the most furious attacks we've ever seen on the champion. Lawler beats him. What is this? Hey, what happened? Hey, man, you disqualified him. Referee Jerry Calhoun has stated that Nick Bockwinkel was disqualified for hitting the referee. Lawler wins it, but by disqualification. Oh. What a rugged blow to Lawler. He had him for the 3 count, no 2 ways about it. But the referee, what was the time on that thing? 32:53. The referee, Lawler kicks Bockwinkel in the face and grabs the belt. Calhoun telling Lawler it doesn't belong to you. Jerry Lawler with a belt in his hand. And he was down for a 3 count. The referee says yes, he did win it, but by disqualification.